Success is rarely built in comfort. It is forged in pain, discipline, and relentless effort. Joe De Sena, the founder of Spartan Race, did not build a $100 million empire by accident. His journey is a powerful example of how extreme discipline, mental toughness, and an obsession with growth can turn ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. Joe did not grow up with luxury or privilege. From a young age, he learned that life rewards action, not excuses. While other kids were playing video games and avoiding discomfort, Joe was pushing himself into challenges that most people would run away from. These early experiences planted the seeds of what would later become the Spartan philosophy. The idea that the human body and mind are capable of far more than we believe. Joe De Sena believes that modern society has made people too comfortable. According to him, comfort is the biggest enemy of success. When life becomes easy, people stop growing. They stop pushing their limits, and they settle for mediocrity. Joe often says that if you want to change your life, you must first learn to embrace hardship. The cold mornings, the difficult workouts, the long hours, and the repeated failures are not obstacles. They are the training ground for greatness. Most people want success without struggle, but Joe teaches that struggle is the price of success. Before Spartan Race became a global brand, Joe experimented with many businesses and investments. Some of them succeeded, but many failed. Instead of seeing failure as defeat, Joe treated it as education. Every mistake taught him something valuable. He learned how businesses operate, how customers think, and how persistence beats talent. These lessons became the foundation upon which Spartan Race was eventually built. Joe never waited for perfect conditions. He believed in starting before you feel ready. Action creates clarity, and clarity creates progress. One of Joe's biggest lessons is that discipline matters more than motivation. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes depending on emotions and circumstances. Discipline, on the other hand, is permanent. Discipline forces you to take action, even when you don't feel like it. Joe built his life around strict routines. Early mornings, physical training, healthy eating, and constant learning became part of his identity. While others searched for shortcuts, Joe focused on consistency. He understood that small actions repeated daily create massive results over time. When Joe De Sena first started organizing endurance challenges, they were small and chaotic. There was no guarantee they would succeed. Many people doubted his idea. Obstacle racing was not popular at the time, and investors were skeptical. But Joe had a vision. He believed that people were craving something real, something that would test their strength and character. He wanted to create an experience that would push people beyond their limits and help them discover their true potential. The early Spartan events were messy. Participants got injured, equipment failed, and logistics were difficult. There were moments when it seemed like everything might collapse. But Joe refused to quit. He believed that persistence separates winners from losers. Many entrepreneurs quit when things get hard, but Joe pushed forward with relentless determination. Each event became slightly better than the last. Each mistake was corrected. Slowly, Spartan Race began to grow. Joe often talks about the importance of mental toughness. Physical strength is important, but mental strength is what determines success. During Spartan races, participants face mud, cold water, steep hills, and exhausting obstacles. Many competitors are physically capable of finishing the race, but they quit because their minds give up first. Joe teaches that the same principle applies to life and business. Most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they lack endurance. Another important lesson Joe teaches is personal responsibility. He believes that successful people take ownership of their lives. They do not blame the economy, their background, or other people for their problems. Joe emphasizes that excuses keep people weak. Responsibility makes people powerful. When you take responsibility, you gain control over your future. Instead of waiting for change, you create it. Joe De Sena is also known for living the lifestyle he promotes. He does not just talk about discipline, he practices it daily. He wakes up early, trains hard, and constantly challenges himself. This authenticity helped Spartan Race gain credibility. People trusted the brand because its founder lived by the same principles he taught. Leadership by example became one of the reasons. Spartan Race grew into a global movement. One of Joe's most powerful beliefs is that suffering has value. In modern culture, people try to avoid discomfort at all costs. Joe believes this mindset makes people weaker. He argues that controlled hardship builds strength. When you push yourself through difficult situations, you become more confident and resilient. Spartan races are designed to simulate struggle in a safe environment so participants can experience growth through challenge. Joe also learned the importance of long-term thinking. Building a $100 million company does not happen overnight. It requires patience and persistence. Many entrepreneurs quit because they expect quick results. Joe focused on building something that would last for decades. Instead of chasing short-term profits, he invested in brand strength and community building. This long-term vision helped Spartan Race expand worldwide. Another key lesson from Joe's journey is the power of community. Spartan Race is not just a competition, it is a tribe. Participants support each other through obstacles and celebrate together at the finish line. Joe understood that people crave connection. By building a strong community, Spartan Race became more than an event. It became a lifestyle. Joe also believes that people underestimate their own potential. Most individuals set small goals because they are afraid of failure. Joe encourages people to aim higher and push further. He believes that the limits we see are often illusions created by fear and doubt. When people complete a Spartan race, they often realize they are capable of much more than they thought. This transformation is one of the main reasons Spartan Race became so popular. Fear is another topic Joe often discusses. He believes fear is natural but should not control your decisions. Fear appears whenever you attempt something meaningful. Instead of avoiding fear, Joe suggests using it as a signal that you are moving in the right direction. Growth always lies on the other side of fear. Joe De Sena's story shows that success is not about talent or luck. It is about habits, persistence, and mindset. He built his empire step by step through consistent effort. There were no shortcuts. There was no easy path. Just relentless forward movement. The rise of Spartan Race proves that ordinary people can achieve extraordinary results when they commit fully to their goals. Joe's philosophy is simple but powerful. Do hard things, build discipline, and never quit. One of the most powerful lessons Joe De Sena teaches is that success begins with building a strong mindset before building a strong business. Most people try to build companies while their habits are weak and their discipline is inconsistent. Joe believes that if your personal life is disorganized, your business will eventually collapse. That is why he focused first on creating a structured lifestyle built around effort and accountability. He believed that the same discipline required to finish a brutal obstacle race is the same discipline required to build a successful company. Joe often explains that people fail because they negotiate with themselves. They promise to wake up early but press the snooze button. They promise to work hard but choose comfort instead. Over time, these small broken promises destroy confidence. Joe teaches that keeping small promises to yourself builds inner strength. When you say you will do something, you must follow through no matter how you feel. This simple habit creates a powerful identity. The identity of someone who finishes what they start. Another major factor behind Spartan Race's growth was Joe's obsession with solving problems. Every event created new challenges. Sometimes there were transportation issues. Instead of complaining, Joe focused on solutions. He believed that entrepreneurs are problem solvers. The bigger the problems you solve, the bigger your success becomes. Many people see problems as a reason to quit, but Joe saw them as opportunities to improve. Joe De Sena also understood that comfort creates weakness while challenge creates strength. That is why Spartan races are intentionally difficult. Participants crawl through mud, climb ropes, carry heavy objects, and run long distances. Joe believes that when people voluntarily choose difficulty, they develop confidence that carries into every area of life. A person who finishes a Spartan race often returns home with a new belief. If I can do this, I can do anything. Another important lesson from Joe's journey is the importance of consistency over intensity. Joe teaches that success comes from showing up every day. Even small progress adds up over time. Spartan Race was not built in 1 year. Joe also believes that environment plays a huge role in shaping success. If you surround yourself with lazy or negative people, it becomes harder to stay disciplined. Joe chose to spend time with people who challenged him. He created an environment where hard work was normal. Spartan events attract people who want to improve themselves, and this positive environment helps participants stay motivated. When you are surrounded by driven people, you naturally push yourself. Harder. Risk-taking was another essential part of Joe's journey. Many people avoid risk because they fear failure. Joe believed that calculated risk is necessary for growth. Playing safe might protect you from failure, but it also prevents success. Joe focused on simple principles: work hard, stay disciplined, improve constantly, and deliver value. Spartan Race succeeded because it offered a clear and simple challenge. Finish the race and prove your strength. This simplicity made the brand powerful and easy to understand. Another key lesson Joe teaches is that physical fitness improves mental performance. Joe believes the body and mind are connected. His daily workouts gave him the energy and mental clarity needed to run a growing company. Joe also talks about the importance of suffering with purpose. Random hardship is painful, but meaningful hardship creates growth. Spartan races are difficult, but participants choose to be there. That choice gives meaning to the struggle. Joe believes that when people choose difficult goals, they gain a sense of purpose. Joe grew up in challenging conditions and faced many obstacles. Instead of using these difficulties as reasons to quit, he used them as motivation. He believes excuses are the enemy of progress. No matter how difficult your situation is, there is always something you can do to move forward. Successful people focus on what they can control instead of what they cannot. Joe also emphasizes the importance of building resilience. But resilience kept him moving forward. He believed that temporary setbacks should never stop long-term progress. Another powerful lesson from Joe De Sena is the value of doing what others avoid. Another important lesson from Joe's journey is patience. Many people expect immediate success. They start projects and quit when results are slow. Joe stayed committed even when progress was gradual. He understood that meaningful achievements take time. Spartan Race took years to become globally recognized. Patience allowed Joe to stay focused during difficult periods. Joe also believes that limits are often self-imposed. People tell themselves they are too old, too weak, or too inexperienced. Joe challenges these beliefs. Spartan Race participants include people from all backgrounds and age groups. Many finish races they once thought impossible. Joe believes that when people push beyond their perceived limits, they discover new possibilities. One of Joe's strongest messages is that quitting becomes a habit. The more you quit, the easier it becomes to quit again. But persistence is also a habit. The more you push through difficulty, the stronger you become. Joe trained himself to never quit unless absolutely necessary. This mindset became one of the foundations of his success. Joe De Sena's journey proves that building a $100 million empire requires more than business knowledge. It requires character, discipline, and resilience. His story is not just about entrepreneurship. It is about personal transformation. Spartan Race became successful because it represented something deeper than competition. It represented growth through struggle. It showed people that pain can be a teacher and discipline can be a path to freedom. The final and perhaps most important lesson from Joe De Sena's journey is that greatness is built through daily choices. A $100 million empire is not created in a single moment of inspiration. It is built through thousands of small decisions made consistently over time. Every early morning workout, every difficult business decision, every obstacle overcome contributed to the growth of Spartan Race. Joe teaches that success is not an event, it is a lifestyle. The habits you practice every day determine the person you become and the results you achieve. Joe De Sena believes that most people are capable of far more than they ever attempt. The real limitation is not physical strength or intelligence, it is belief. When people believe something is impossible, they never try. But when they believe something is possible, they begin to act differently. Spartan Race was designed to change people's beliefs about themselves. When someone crosses the finish line after enduring miles of obstacles and exhaustion, they realize that the limits they once believed in were only illusions. Another powerful lesson Joe teaches is the importance of embracing discomfort as a permanent part of life. Many people work hard temporarily, hoping to reach a point where life becomes easy. Joe challenges this idea. He believes that growth requires continuous challenge. Instead of chasing comfort, he encourages people to build a life where discipline and effort are normal. When hard work becomes part of your identity, success becomes natural. Joe also emphasizes the importance of self-reliance. In a world where many people depend on external motivation, Joe encourages individuals to develop internal drive. He believes you should not wait for someone to inspire you or push you forward. True strength comes from the ability to motivate yourself even when no one is watching. This mindset allowed Joe to continue building Spartan Race during times when support was limited and success was uncertain. Another lesson from Joe's story is the importance of building strong character. Wealth and success without character often collapse. Joe focused not only on building a successful business, but also on becoming a stronger person. Honesty, discipline, and perseverance became guiding principles in his life. These values shaped the culture of Spartan Race and helped create long-term trust with customers and partners. Joe also teaches that adversity is a necessary teacher. Every major challenge in his journey forced him to grow. Without those difficulties, he would not have developed the strength needed to succeed. Many people try to avoid adversity, but Joe believes adversity prepares you for future success. Each challenge makes you more capable of handling the next one. Another important principle Joe lives by is the idea that action creates momentum. Waiting for the perfect moment often leads to inaction. Joe built Spartan Race by taking action even when conditions were uncertain. Progress created confidence, and confidence created bigger opportunities. He teaches that the fastest way to move forward is to start now, even if your plan is not perfect. Joe also believes that success requires sacrifice. Building Spartan Race demanded long hours, physical exhaustion, and financial risk. There were times when Joe had to give up comfort and security to pursue his vision. Many people want success, but few are willing to make the necessary sacrifices. Joe's journey shows that sacrifice is not a loss. It is an investment in a better future. Another powerful lesson from Joe De Sena is the importance of pushing beyond average. Average effort produces average results. Joe refused to live an average life. He pushed harder, worked longer, and demanded more from himself than most people were willing to demand. This extra effort created extraordinary outcomes. Joe teaches that the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is often just a little extra effort applied consistently. Joe also encourages people to redefine failure. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. Every failed event, every mistake, and every setback helped Spartan Race improve. Joe viewed failure as feedback. Instead of feeling discouraged, he used failures as stepping stones toward progress. Joe also teaches that true success is not just financial. Building a $100 million empire was an achievement. But Joe believes the real success of Spartan Race lies in the lives it has changed. Millions of people have become healthier, stronger, and more confident because of the challenges they faced in Spartan races. Joe believes success should create a positive impact on others, not just personal wealth. Another lesson from Joe's journey is the importance of lifelong growth. Reaching one goal should not be the end. Joe continues to challenge himself physically and mentally. He believes stagnation leads to decline. Continuous improvement keeps life exciting and meaningful. No matter how successful you become, there is always another level to reach. Joe De Sena's story ultimately teaches that greatness is available to anyone willing to work for it. You do not need perfect conditions, special talent, or extraordinary luck. What you need is discipline, persistence, and a willingness to face discomfort. These qualities allowed Joe to transform a simple idea into a global movement worth millions. The Spartan philosophy is simple. Do the hard things that others avoid. Wake up early. Train your body. Strengthen your mind. Take responsibility. Finish what you start. These principles may sound simple, but when practiced consistently, they create powerful results. Joe's journey from small endurance events to a global fitness empire proves that determination can turn vision into reality. He built Spartan Race step by step, obstacle by obstacle, challenge by challenge. His story reminds us that success is not reserved for a select few. It is earned by those who refuse to quit. In the end, Joe De Sena's biggest lesson is clear. Your limits are farther away than you think. The only way to discover them is to push forward when things get difficult. Every obstacle you face is an opportunity to become stronger. Your life is your race. The obstacles are real. The struggle is real. But so is your potential. Keep moving forward. Never quit. And one day the impossible will become your reality.